Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back. I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. And we are just getting started. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. Through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit, and we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve. Fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Oh yeah! We're back, guys. I think we're back. We're in the dark here. What's going on here? Let's see here. We're back. We got booted off. We're booted off. The friends are back. The fam's back here. Sound check. I don't know if I got the right audio on here. I think I do.
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear.
All right. Thank you, Abby. Blue Eyes on X. I think she has blue_eyes. I've showed the account many times. Abby and Brad, of course, there. Change my name back here. So we're gonna wrap it up. We didn't want to leave you all hanging, so we don't know what exactly happened. I think it's only the first or second time I've ever seen it. One time in a 17-hour Qschqql, we're doing all of X got shut down in the middle of that. Sounds like comms again. That's odd. The only other time I thought maybe one time we got kicked off everything, but this is only the second time I can even think of where we are off on all the platforms. So thanks to friends out there too that called and let us know, because we might not have known, but it let us know.
It kind of fits today's title, Down She Goes, right? Just saying.
Oh man.
Down sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we're trying to show that article that's again been 404.tim's in, so we're getting some weird comms on that too. I was wondering, I don't know if you said live on the air, Tim. I know Canada's got some weird things in place that people are able to view certain websites from Canada, so you got to use a VPN. I don't know if that's going on with you, but the link was working. You want me to jump right into that, or you want to?
Yeah. Let's. I think that's where we got booted out just before we were going to read that link, connect the dots, right? That link between Epstein and Clinton Foundation, and then I got a quick video clip I just posted on Diggers for you that one of the scumbag Democrats is defending Hillary Clinton. Of course, we'll have to just listen to what he says, and it's got to be true, right? Because he said so.
Oh, this guy! This looks like AI to me right here. Should we play this right now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's just
let's see what the tards are doing here. All right.
Secretary Clinton never met Jeffrey Epstein. She never visited the island. She never flew on his plane. She also had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's horrific crime. So zero knowledge of any wrongdoing. And you've also all heard that directly from her. Secretary Clinton never met Jeffrey Epstein.
All right, let's go straight into it. I'm going to go straight to it. Bring us up on the side, Mel. Check this out. Here's the article from, I missed the Q drop number now. I think it was, Tim has that. We'll see it here in a second. But here's the article linked by Q. July 6th, I think they even did this on a Delta, I'll double check, but 2016, right? Before Trump even ran, before we even snatched up Hillary in the back of the van, 11:46 a.m. Eastern Time, updated 1:33 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, if news unlocks the map, we've done this over a number of years. I would say these are all comms from the White Hats in here too, so anybody wants to go down that digging route. We're not going to go on that now because we've already on the second part of our another long Qschqql that was supposed to be a short one, but you know how we do. Look at the B-2 bomber button in there. I've never seen that one. I guess that's Flipboard's logo. It looks like the B-2 bomber to me. I'm going full on to some, huh? Okay, so check it out. Let's check out this article. Oh, by the way, the title, in case you missed it, want to read the title for us, Mr. Tim 17.
Yeah. It says billionaire sex offender Epstein once claimed he co-founded the Clinton Foundation.
Co-founded the Clinton Foundation, guys. Co-founded. That's a big deal. Basically helped create it, right? That's what he's claiming now. We heard from Les Wexner. He did a lot of name dropping and other people like that too. But this is, again, if the Clintons really cared about protecting children and knew about Epstein, think about when this article is too, that whenever, let's see what year he claims, why wouldn't Hillary say that's not true? She never once even says that. Now I think they maybe came out something later, the lawyers say something like that, but let's see here. Or maybe that's just the media covering for them. Epstein on the left, Clinton on the right. That's this image here. Okay, everybody should know those guys. Jeffrey Epstein, Israel-backed, and Bill Clinton, another puppet. And then flew dozens of times on the billionaire's jet dubbed the Lolita Express from the movie. Is the movie just called Lolita? Help me out with that one, Anon Stickers. That's a movie from years back. You ever seen that one, Tim?
No, I haven't.
Okay, attorneys for convicted sex offender Jeff Epstein touted his close relationship with Bill Clinton and even claimed the billionaire helped start Clinton's controversial family foundation in 2000 in a 2000 letter aimed at boosting his image during plea negotiations, Fox News has learned. Okay, so I've seen other reports on this. There's all kinds of stuff out there. We saw the fake files. We've seen other people doing some good digs on Epstein stuff. One of them is he's mentioning that like he was mad at somebody because supposedly Bill Clinton or Bill Gates, because he was saying it was hurting his reputation, you know, in the public. It's always about having that reputation, right? These guys always got to craft their image and stuff. That's why they have, you know, people that run all this stuff for them. But so this wasn't just him lipping off. He actually used it in his first arrest to get a better deal, with saying, hey, I do all this nice stuff for the Clinton Foundation, just like how they say they're a stellar organization, the Clinton Foundation. Okay. 23-page letter written by high-powered lawyers Alan Dershowitz, who's on the Epstein Island logs, and Gerald Lefcourt, was apparently part of an ultimately successful bid to negotiate a plea deal before Epstein could be tried for using underage girls in a sex ring based in Palm Beach. So here you go, guys. You just heard from the clown right over here. I'll do it one more time.
She never visited the island. She never flew on his plane. She also had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's horrific crime. So zero knowledge of any wrongdoing. And you've also all heard that directly from her. Secretary.
He must be right. He's got to be right. He's a Democrat, right? He's for all the people.
You're right. And her letter saying she cares about trafficking and stuff, and she specifically mentioned, why'd he get a sweetheart deal the first time? Well, this is part of it, because Epstein claimed he helped co-found the Clinton Foundation. The Clinton Foundation is allegedly this sterling organization at the time. All right. So the best of it here, Palm Beach, Florida, and his private island estate on the 72-acre Virgin Islands home dubbed Orgy Island. Epstein spent 13 months in prison and home detention after agreeing to a plea deal in which he admitted to soliciting an underage girl for prostitution. That's the only thing he had to do. That's how sweetheart his deal was. I believe that might even keep him off a sex registry. I don't know. You guys want to double check? Was Epstein able to keep himself off a sex registry from his sweetheart first deal? That would be interesting. 13 months home detention. I heard he was allowed to like leave during the day for like work. So basically he just had to come back and sleep in the cell, or maybe he could go home. It was something crazy, dude. Like we'd have to look at that. It's stupid. So here's the rest of it. Kind of just goes on about Mr. Epstein was part of the original group that conceived the Clinton Global Initiative, which is described, this is a quote, I think, from his attorney, but just so you guys know, which is described as a project bringing together a community of global leaders to devise and implement innovative solutions to some of the world's most pressing challenges. Read the July 2007 letter to U.S. Attorney's Office in the SDF, Southern District of Florida. Quote, focuses on this initiative include poverty, climate change, global health, and religious and ethnic conflict.
Thank Haiti.
Haiti, right? And look at this. Let's see. Mr. Epstein was part of the, there it is. It's right from the document. Actual official document. Excerpt from letter Epstein's lawyer sent to federal prosecutors while negotiating a plea deal. There you go, Clinton Global Initiative. Now I got it also in Diggers. Let's go straight to it. Y'all gonna see one you haven't seen for a long time because I haven't had this graphic. Let's show you how prestigious and wonderful the Clinton Foundation is, the Clinton Global Initiative, all their bullshit. They got to change the names because it's so shady. But let's go to this document for just a second. I haven't done this one in a while. This is a Qschqql special. Tim, you remember me doing some of this one with their taxes?
I do. It's a big one.
Yeah, so I found this image. Lo and behold, why not find this image, guys? So y'all want to start the timestamp on this recording. We'll keep this one short. We're at 14 minutes here. So Clinton Foundation, I add this plus. So it's all connected here too. This is an actual document of their 2014 tax returns, okay, from the Clinton Foundation. It was originally, let me just read it here. The real heart of the Clintons can be seen here, staggering, but not surprising. These figures are from an official copy of the Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton Foundation for tax year 2014. So I think it was still called that. Then I know of the Global Clinton Initiative, and then now it's the Clinton Foundation. They're continuing to change their names. This also coincides with George Soros and them overthrowing Ukraine.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say the same thing. Ukraine 2014. Yep.
I mentioned this when I showed the other document, which I don't have on me right now. I'm not going to show today, but the different countries that donate to Clinton Foundation. And Tim read it maybe at the beginning of our last recording here, and Tim said Ukraine, but another major donor was Saudi Arabia. and Hillary in the bloody wonderland. Think about that connection, okay? But Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton Foundation tax year 2014. Wait till you hear this one, guys. The copy of the tax returns from the National Center for Charitable Statistics website. So it's still right on that website. If anybody wants to print out a freshie, all right, you can get the latest tax return on any charitable organization. You're going to love this one, guys. You're not going to love it. It's going to make you sick. Okay, total revenue in 2014 for this global, let's just call it Clinton Foundation, okay? It was at the time Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton Foundation. Then it was the Global Clinton Initiative, or maybe it was originally. Now it's Clinton Foundation. Okay, total revenue in that year, $177 million, okay? $177,804,000 some change. So $177 million they brought in as a charity, basically donations. $177 million donated to them. Total grants to charity, what they would give away, $5 million. $5 million is less than 3% of what was brought in. We talk about the fees and stuff, and Trump says he should be able to charge fees for, you know, the license, which would be tariffs, is funny. But we talk about all the fees and these government assholes and stuff. What do you guys get all of this? Their fees on this was $91 million to do fees, okay? Salaries for the people running this Clinton Foundation, $35 million. Fundraising fees, because shit, you got to raise more money to make money, so nearly $1 million, $850,000. Other expenses, who knows what other expenses is, but when you're flying around and getting a bunch of money doing dumb shit, well, it's going to cost money because we're not flying coach, we're going to be flying first class jet. 50 million other expenses, 8 million to travel around, 12 million to make those meetings, to give away $5 million, guys. And this is a prestigious charitable organization. They list 486 employees. So it took 486 people who are paid $34.8 million and $91 million in fees and expenses. They forgot to add this extra 50. So it's really $140 million in fees, $35 million in salaries to give away $5 million. That's how the Clinton Foundation operates, because they're going to use all that money to make sure they human traffic, and then they're going to get all these prestigious awards. Okay. Let's see. That's the other numbers. But that's what it is, guys. $177 million they brought in, and they donated $5 million. And that's what the other Q drop Tim was talking about. We're back on the screen here. So is that the Haiti stuff, and that was one of those quantum Q posts. And I've heard the numbers about 10%. The Haiti, they brought in all these donations, and they gave about 10% back to the people of Haiti. And the people in Haiti hate the Clintons. Go ahead.
Yeah. Brittany in the chat, if you go down a little bit, go down about 4 or 5. Brittany's been doing some great digs on the Epstein. You asked her the question about the initial registration of a child sex offender.
Okay.
Maybe you might want to read everything that she says from the bottom up.
Do the one right before that too. Let's just do one real quick. Thank you, Brittany, on the digs. Thanks, Tim, on the ask. Mel's going to click them. I'm going to read them here. So thank you, Brittany, by the way, too. Great job. Epstein's lawyers actually tried to get his status lowered so he wouldn't have to appear on a public registry. This is why I'm asking about this. It's very important. This is a big distinction. And wouldn't have to check in every 90 days also. That way he can go do whatever the hell he wants. Manhattan prosecutors even argued with them a lower level, but the judge shut it down. Okay, who's that judge? Maybe he's got some integrity. Okay, next one, Mel. This is where it gets wild. Epstein initially registered as a sex offender in Santa Fe County. That's Mexico. That's the Zorro Ranch. Pay attention now, y'all. I don't know if there's farther article. Okay, 2 days later, the sheriff's office got a letter from New Mexico Department of Public Safety. Wow, man.
Remember back in the days of the Snowden digs, the New Mexico governor who flew with ES, Eric Schmidt from Alphabet.
Yes, and remember Zorro Ranch, we found that Jeffrey Epstein won a lottery and bought, I think, Zorro Ranch or something. We did a dig on it a while back.
I don't know if he bought the ranch, but he's connected to the lottery, and I actually heard someone else mention that in the Epstein files. Sorry, go ahead, Mel.
And then we need to go back and revisit that episode, what we did, because I think it was Richardson, who was the governor of New Mexico also.
That's the one. That's it. That's the exact guy that flew with.
Wow.
Yes.
That was the Eric Schmidt from Alphabet and the governor of New Mexico, and it's in the Q drops.
I missed that one, Tim. Wow.
that a Dominion, or like the company that owns it, also was in charge of the lottery.
Right.
So
yeah, the same kind of software. Yeah, the same.
think
That's
of how
crazy.
they could, people
Rig-
put all this money into that, all in
Yes.
this fraud that could be had.
Yes.
What are the chances of Jeffrey Epstein winning the lottery?
Yeah,
Right.
no kidding.
Yeah, and then these other people too.
Anyways, we should go back. I can't remember which one that
It's right
was.
here. It's right here. So the second half that statement about what New Mexico basically ruled on here, guys, is saying it didn't need to be on the list thanks to a loophole in state law about out-of-state convictions. And think about that, to go through all that trouble. Actually, the Department of Public Safety sensed this, like, no, he doesn't have to be on the registry, even though he's been trafficking all these women and children. Shame on you, New Mexico Department of Public Safety. You're not actually out for the people's safety. You're out for your donors' safety, or you're out for the assholes who blackmailed you into positions of power safety, but you're not out for the people. We're watching all you assholes, because it's going to be a real election coming soon, or I'm not participating.
It says extra expenses on line 17.
Oh, line 17, extra expenses. Nice catch. Here we go. Did anybody find that one? Qpos, here we go. One, we go all. Here's a hint. It's sign language.
So I was wondering if I can't remember which.
That's a deep one.
Do
I don't know if you found that. What's up?
know if we can find, not right now, but if we could go and revisit that stuff that we dug up on Jeffrey Epstein. Is there any way that do you remember
Which stuff's we got? Let me read this last thing by Brittany.
on the lottery and
Oh, that'd be
that
tough.
show that we did?
Not completely. Okay, then one more thing from Brittany here. That'd be tough to find that. We'll see though.
No.
Okay. Not completely. He had to register in Florida, New York, and the Virgin Islands. So he did have to register in a state specific, it sounds like. Okay, nice dig on this too, by the way, again, Brittany. But yes, he was able to stay off New Mexico's registry and push for lighter treatment in New York. So again, it kind of goes cross-reference. He is not here. And then the Zorro Ranch, a lot of weird stuff going on. I've heard there's some bigger drops about the Zorro Ranch in the Epstein files. Y'all want to look into that? Search Zorro Ranch, because some of these other names, you get all kinds of weird stuff in the files. Zorro Ranch specifically would be an interesting one. Look into the lottery stuff too. Also, I think General Apex mentioned it. I know Melzie's wheels are spinning on it too, because she found that real early on. And I saw another person now make a reel on Instagram mention something about the lottery and Epstein. So other people are making the connections as well. So help on those digs. But Tim, we could go for days and days on this stuff, guys. But let's go. I know Tim had this video I think we're going to play, and then I want to maybe scan by the deltas today, and then maybe kind of start to get.
Yeah, well, one of the deltas is Hillary Clinton, so we could definitely show you that one. There's 13 deltas today. What was that governor's name again in New Mexico? I'm just digging in the background. Richardson. Yeah, I'm going to look it up in the Q drops for you guys. I know he's in there.
Yeah,
all right, so
I guess he won 80 million Powerball jackpot in 2008 and put it in it's in a trust called Zorro Trust.
Whoa, right. The governor?
Epstein.
Oh, Epstein did. Okay, he won the lottery and then put in the Zorro Trust. Ooh, and what if he did buy the house with that? That would be interesting too.
So anyways, that's pretty interesting. I mean, how they could pass around money, anyways. So yeah, that's nice, another thing.
That's fine.
And then I think that Richardson too won. Let me see. Richardson sold out New Mexico's water to Texas. So, Lake Elephant Butte Lake is down to 1%, in the water, used to be,
they sold their water rights
to Texas because he was going to try and run for president.
Oh, wait, who was?
Richardson.
Oh, the governor.
Yes.
That's all kinds of, that's an interesting, more connections to that too. So I want to show here what Tim had. I missed this one in the diggers. This is a good one you had with Gina Milan. Quote, Hillary Clinton, I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. Meanwhile, Epstein once said Hillary Clinton was, quote, much prettier in person. No recollection, though. Here you go. From nobody knows to Jeffrey Epstein's email. Roger that. Cruising with JoJo. From Jeffrey Epstein to this person. The car will pick you up. Eva's on 85th and 5th. Road. Okay, high heels. Walk, not a great idea. You could carry me. Does Eva live close to you? Hey, Hillary Clinton is much prettier in person. And that was from Epstein.
So they never met, she says. Interesting, isn't it?
Let's do this rest of the here. One more. He followed up Epstein to this anonymous person. Are you meeting today? No problem. Let's go for a walk when you're finished with Ava. Meeting has been added with the CEO of Unilever, or I don't know how to pronounce that. Unilever. Not sure I will be able to get there in time, but I am free after lunch with Ava for a bit. What's your afternoon like? So the rest of that. Okay. And let's see, Tune. We're not gonna go with that one, but you want me to bring up the part about Bannon, that spot you had? You want me to play that?
Could I just bring up one thing that Brittany showed?
Yeah, what you got for Brittany?
Let's go here. And then I wanted to say another thing too. So I think we're going to hear Mexico coming up, because of Epstein, but also Ted Turner owns 3 huge ranches in New Mexico, and Richardson, what's his name, that did Richard Branson, also has spaceport here.
Oh yeah.
And so there's a lot that I think that we're going to see exposed, maybe through this ranch here.
Yeah, actually kind of go with that rabbit hole a little bit too, guys. The reason there's so many bases and stuff in New Mexico is the land is cheap, right? So it's the military could acquire a bunch of cheap land, and then they make the deep underground military bases with that. So another part of that process, like let's say, some people have come forward and say, "Oh, I was at that base. That's not going on there." Like Emery Smith has mentioned being on a base, and you go through a fence in a regular little kind of building. You go downstairs, and you have these deep underground military bases. They're actually owned by private companies, and then the military protects them. This is kind of this crazy on the top secret, tippy top world of stuff. But also, a politician recently mentioned Elon Musk's Boring Company. Most people never talk about the Boring Company. I brought it up a few times. He's got another $1 billion company. It's the Boring Company, is digging stuff underground. So is that going to maybe be some more exposure with that kind of stuff? And then interesting seeing the drone technology and a high technology to protect the border stuff too. Imagine the stuff we can't see. So it's kind of interesting to think about all that. Go ahead, you read it. More from Brittany email.
Zorro Ranch land leases. Money goes into the state land trust that funds public schools.
Oof, the schools. That's a big one too, guys, with like even the Nexium stuff. If y'all haven't dig a little bit more into the Nexium stuff, they actually did a documentary on it because these really smart, attractive women would like brand themselves. They didn't realize what it was. And I mean, they did, but they didn't. Like how that brainwashing works. What's this other thing from Brittany? Want to read it? Okay, the ranch popped out here. So from Brittany, the ranch itself has now been called out in newly released files as the trafficking hub. Good find there. I'm digging on that hub near the border, with even allegations about 2 foreign girls, quote 2 foreign girls, nearby. Still unproven but serious. Thanks for that little dig there, Brittany, as well.
Yeah, I'd heard that too. So I think things are going to be coming out in that area. So it's kind of interesting to me. So thank you for the dig.
And what you got, Timbo?
Oh, I'm still digging, brother.
Okay. Let's scroll over the deltas here then while Tim's doing that. And then let's do that for now. So I'm going to use Q alerts, qalerts.net. Deltas again, Q drops from today's date. Anybody new out there still hanging with us? February 26th, 13. Q drops on Q alerts. Okay. Click on the today tab. I think it's in reverse order. I normally like to kind of switch. I'm going to go this way on this one. So 3890, hoo-yah to the military boys. Blurred out. Kind of reminds me of the photo after we took out Maduro. I wonder which one this one is. Anon shared this. February 26, 2020. Q responds, Godspeed, Q. Operators are active. Here's a Miga. Check us out. How relevant is this to right now? That's yes, excuse me. But there's Melania. She's relevant right now. Where we go one, we go all. There's Modi from India. Interesting name on the image. Anon Sharon says, thanks for the wonderful visit. Q and Q plus. Love, respect, and support from India. And they got Melania in here. Look at this guy wearing. I got
Q and Q plus.
Yeah, and there's Modi in there. Wow. And then Q responds, love and light, patriot. Have faith and trust in yourself. Where we go one, we go all. Triple H exclamation point. Okay, I always think of General Flynn on that. That's how he was signing that Fight and Fury book. Or
three exclamation marks. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of that book? What was the name of his book? The Fury.
Oh, jeez.
A little Mandela block here.
Yeah,
We haven't done a prayer in a while. I wish we should try to remember to do that more often.
actually, it's in the Deltas. There's one in the Deltas.
That's why I just saw it. That's what I was gonna do. That's what I was saying. We haven't done one in a while.
Can I show this too?
Let's do. Go ahead and let's show what you.
Brittany's got.
Hey, man, this was a tough dig, but I did it, you guys. Okay. So let me share. How am I going to do this here? I'm going to share this Q drop. I just got Bill Richardson, the governor of New Mexico. I got his image from a search. And now I'm going to share the one Q drop that I remember when I first started, like way back when I was on the MG show. You remember Wet Yeti, one of the admins over there, the moderators? Remember Wet Yeti?
Yeah.
My very first dig was with Wet Yeti, and it was about these connections with Eric Schmidt.
Oh, that's why you know it so well. And I don't remember.
Yeah, North Korea, South Korea, all this stuff, right? And we did a 2-day show. It took us 2 days to present all the information that we dug up back then. So that's why I remember when Melzie brought that up. But let me post this Q drop. And there it is. There's a picture of him and Eric Schmidt. There it is. So you can pull that up at the bottom of Digger. So his photograph above it. And there's your connection in the Q drops. It's tough to find, but there it is.
Oh yeah, because it's just a photo, and that's why when we did that exercise the other day, though, where you go to QAG, I'm going to show that one more time just for that. But this Q drop 444. Now you'll remember that one, Tim. 444. We'll get the angel number comms. There, December 23rd, 2017. They're using the PM 121107. Oh, look at that. There's a 117 in there. Anyways, look, it's got Kim Jong-il, the dad. I guess that's his dad. I don't know that one very well. And then Kim Jong-un is actually not pictured here, but these are his military people. And this guy, gray-haired with the glasses, is Eric Schmidt of
From
Google.
Alphabet
Inc., Google. And we just talked about Les Wexner mentioned
and he's tied to the Gmail addies. That brings us to the poof Q drop. That brings us to the connection of the Hussein government and cabinet members all used an email addy from Gmail.
Right. Gmail.
Alphabet.
And that's their personal emails because they were blackmailing and they didn't want it on. White House stuff has to be backed up so the people can make sure nothing like that's going on shady. But no response. Q just post that. So again, the keywords is interesting. I don't know why that comes up.
Who's the other guy?
That's Bill Richardson right there.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Oh shit! So that's the governor?
Yes, because
he's in North Korea.
He was
president.
He was flying around with Eric Schmidt back then, and they were setting things up behind the scenes for the deep state.
And you guys, it's right next to Mexico, and just think of the trafficking and all of
nice connection.
Ted Turner is TNT Network, so that's CNN. That's who the owner of CNN owns 3 huge ranches here close to Mexico. And we can do a story all on that some other time. But, I think that there's like Professor Clements, when he was on, remember I told him where I was, and he had been here in this town. And he said that the cartel was like huge in this area, and some we didn't share.
And look who he was tied to, the UN, United Nations.
Check this guy out on the screen here. He is Richardson.
I gotta take a screenshot.
Okay.
We got 17 out there. I see you guys.
And look he's a former UN ambassador, Mel. So think about the immunity.
Oh my God.
So Mel's unique perspective, the ambassadors have immunity, although it does say immunities, you can't have immunity from crimes against humanity and I think even harming children also. But they would be past, any of that kind of stuff would be, the people would look the other way. They have the power. Let's check out this link here. So there he is, Bill Richard, former governor and UN ambassador who worked for, is this the article? Oh, he died too.
Yes, he died.
Oh shit. Bill Richardson, a former governor and UN ambassador who worked to free detained Americans. So there you go. governor of New Mexico, speaking at the Democratic National Convention in Denver, 2008. Richardson Center for Global Engagement. They always have foundations, guys. The Richardson Center for Global Engagement announced his death on Saturday. The day he died was September 2nd.
Okay, so when was Epstein? When was he detained?
2019 summer, July of 2019. So. Bill Richardson, a two-term governor of New Mexico, ambassador to the United Nations, who also worked for years to secure the release of Americans detained by foreign adversaries, has died. He was 75. The Rich Center for Global Engagement, which he founded and led, said in a statement Saturday that he died in Chatham, Massachusetts. Yeah, service. Okay. See how these people talk, guys? He lived his entire life in service.
Then I'd like to tie in just a second. See that the election part with Bill Clinton there?
Oh, I missed that. That
yeah, it was in the bottom.
I see that right up in there.
Okay, so that's where I'm seeing it. Okay, I guess September. So think of this. So Jeffrey Epstein went to jail twice. I knew it there was a 2008. I'll send this to you.
The earlier arrest.
And so it was in 2008, right before he wins like the jackpot. I can't remember when we could figure out the day that he won it. Because so he basically put this into a trust. He wins it because he probably needs money, what Brittany says. Zorro Ranch, Epstein's New Mexico hub, run through Zorro Trust. Zorro Trust showed up in files as winning an $80 million Powerball jackpot in 2008. So, manager 2 days after he walks into his sweetheart jail deal. New Mexico kept him off their sex offender registry, leased him state school trust land for pennies, and now says they're shocked ranch trust lottery. Do you understand? You guys get it? That's big.
It connects to him not being on the sex registry, all the thing. Man, great dot connecting anons out there. Thank you all for doing that. I'm going to read this little bit here, too, while everybody's digging. This is what it looked like back in the day, too. We wouldn't be on camera. Everybody's digging, heads down, digging, right, Tim? We were all on Qschqql. We weren't sharing our screen. We're all digging and sharing different things, full autis on the deck. So it's pretty cool to do this again. But before his election in 2002 as governor, Richardson was the U.S. envoy to the United Nations and energy secretary under Bill Clinton.
Wow.
And served 14 years as congressman representing northern New Mexico. Richardson, and that's would be, I think, is that Albuquerque's up that way? That's
where Zorro Ranch is in northern New Mexico.
But also Albuquerque is just a nasty place, gangs and cartel. Richardson also traveled the globe as an unofficial diplomatic troubleshooter. Isn't that a nice title for somebody that probably traffics children? Again, not making any claims. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. Not going to speak, all those things. Richardson also traveled the globe as an unofficial diplomatic troubleshooter, negotiating hostages and American servicemen from North Korea, Iran, Sudan. So that's the cover for being in those places. Isn't that interesting? Those have been countries that could be dangerous to the United States. And he's supposedly brokering deals with servicemen, but now we see him also in North Korea with the CEO of Google. So what the F's up with that? Why didn't he tell anybody about that if he's doing something in good service, right? He bargained with a who's who of America's adversaries, including Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein. Interesting. Hussein. How many Hussein Q drops, guys? Dig it up. I don't know that number. I know it's a big one, wasn't it, Tim? We did that a long time ago. We used to do the numbers. How many Hussein drops, guys? It was a role that Richardson relished, once describing himself as the, quote, the informal undersecretary for thugs. I pled guilty to
101 Hussein drops on Q alerts. 101.
Ooh, 101 Q alerts. Nice dig. Thank you for that answer there, Tim. Look at this. This is an odd thing to say. I plead guilty to photo ops and getting human beings rescued and improving the lives of human beings. Guys, think about what we just read from Hillary Clinton and how she's lying about Epstein connections and how this guy's now saying, oh, you're guilty of photo ops and getting human beings rescued and improving the lives of human beings. But I'm buddy with Jeffs Epstein, and I'm also the undersecretary under Bill Clinton, who's been to Epstein Island 26 times. Allegedly, his wife didn't know anything about that. Of course, like most women, they don't ever pay attention to what their husband is doing. He helped secure 2021 release of American journalist Danny Fenster.
Especially when you're Secretary of State and you got information flowing all over the place, right? You know who's who and who will.
Yes, right. And let's keep going. There's some global political stuff here. He helped secure the 2021 release of American journalist Danny Fenster. Don't know that guy, from Myanmar. I think that's how you pronounce that, prison. And this year negotiated the freedom of Taylor Dudley, who crossed the border from Poland into Russia. He flew to Moscow for a meeting with Russian government officials in the months before the release last year. A Marine veteran, Trevor Reed, in a prisoner swap, and also worked on the cases of Brittany Griner. That's when they had that thing, the swap. Somehow he's connected to that. Wow. Okay, the WNBA star man freed by Moscow last year, and Michael White, the Navy veteran, freed by Iran in 2020. Armed with a golden resume and wealth of experience in foreign and domestic affairs. This is how these guys are. They're actually wealthy. They're not elite though. They're greedy psychopaths. They have wealth, prestige, power. Okay, but then they use that to their advantage in the media and everything else. Those you are taught to trust the most. Armed with a golden resume and wealth of experience in foreign and domestic affairs, Richardson ran for the 2008 Democratic nomination for president. Woo! Maybe that's why he died, crossing paths with Hillary. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
In hopes of becoming the nation's first Hispanic president. You know what? If you're for the truth and such, we would vote for you. But that's not the situation. He dropped out of the race after fourth place finishes in Iowa caucuses and New Hampshire primary. Didn't stop Biden from jumping to the top mysteriously after he was dead last in the first freaking primary. Just kidding. Richardson was the nation's only Hispanic governor during his 2 terms. He described being governor as the best job I ever had. What did Trump say about the governors, Tim? He said 17 of them have gone on to be presidents. Governor is a very powerful position, guys. You're basically the president of your state. I didn't have any understanding of that until COVID. That's another thing. COVID helped awaken a lot of people. It helped people like myself understand politics better on a local level, which is really important. Governor is like the president of the state. So it makes sense they would be on the path to be president of the United States. 17 of them. And then he also met with all the governors recently, which is interesting because is Tim Walz still the governor in Minnesota, or did he actually step down, or has it not happened yet?
Well, he still is, and he's going to write out his term, but he's stepping down.
So this midterm will be a new governor for Minnesota then?
Yeah, and it's what's her name? She's a senator. She stepped down as senator, and she's going to run for governor against Mike Lindell. That's what's her name? Klobuchar.
Okay.
Klobuchar's leaving a Senate seat to try to take over the governorship so they can continue to bury the evidence.
Brittany, what was your 141? Was that Hussein? Did you get 140? Yeah, that's on QAG. What was the number you said, Tim, on Q Alerts?
101 on Q Alerts, but
maybe
I used the space at the end.
Okay, so maybe we'll see. Okay, interesting. And I always wondered about that, and that is a weird connection, like Saddam Hussein. Why do they sometimes call Obama Hussein only? And then there's also posts that have BO or Barack Obama. I don't follow. I can't, operators.
And Trump has always emphasized the Hussein because he goes Barack Hussein Obama. He always says Hussein.
That's right. So, okay, so let me finish with a few more things. This article, I think it's geopolitically related, certainly.
Everything. Yeah, one leads to another, guys. It's all part of the Epstein.
So I have it ready and then listen.
I got it ready.
This guy. So Richardson was the nation's only Hispanic governor during his 2 terms. He described being governor as, quote, the best job I ever had. It's the most fun. You can get the most done. You set the agenda. As governor, so what was the agenda of New Mexico while Epstein had Zorro Ranch there? As governor, Richardson signed legislation in 2009 that repealed the death penalty. He called it the, quote, most difficult decision in my political life because he previously had supported capital punishment. Interesting little tidbit. Other accomplishments as governor included $50,000 a year minimum salaries for the most qualified teachers in New Mexico, an increase in the state minimum wage, pre-kindergarten kindergarten programs for 4-year-olds, renewable, and we just talked about Epstein having connections with the public schools, right? In New Mexico, again, the Nexium case. I got off track on explaining that the Nexium people, they had daycares, they owned daycares in Mexico. That's another dig for y'all. Renewable energy required for utilities and financing for large infrastructure projects, including a commercial spaceport, southern New Mexico, and a $400 million commuter rail system. Where's that at?
It never happened.
Sounds like the California one, huh? So they got their own rail system. California spent billions, but New Mexico pissed off $400 million.
Spaceport. When I was the marketing and tourism director, for the city of Truth or Consequences, I went to Spaceport and to Ted Turner's ranch. So I could share pictures of that too in my story. But anyways, there's a lot of corruption in New Mexico, and I just found a huge dig that I can't wait to share with you guys. So.
Okay, cool. So let's scroll through this. Senator Ben Ray Lujan, Democrat, New Mexico, called Richardson a giant in public service government.
And now Lujan, I think Michelle Lujan is the governor of New Mexico. So I don't know how she's related to that Lujan.
Okay.
You just skipped the part in there where it said he traveled to North Korea. You were coming up to it.
Okay.
Okay, and here's Hillary Clinton right here too. We'll take a peek at that. Barack Obama, Bob Gallagher, New Mexico Oil. I thought I read the one already, so
right there. Richardson continued his freelance right there.
Oh yeah, down here. Okay. In his post-government career, he was trusted to handle some of the most sensitive diplomatic cases. And he did so with great success here in New Mexico. Again, think mirror how they're saying he's proceeding. We will always remember him as our governor. He never stopped fighting for the state he called home. Richardson continued his freelance diplomacy even while serving as governor. He had barely started his first term as governor when he met with 2 North Korean envoys.
There's that photograph in the Q drop.
Wow.
But that Q drop now is that.
He traveled to North Korea in 2007. It said next sentence.
Where'd that picture go? There it goes. But see, this is in North Korea. This ain't Santa Fe.
Yeah, but the next sentence says he traveled to North Korea in 2007.
Oh, it does mention that. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Back over here. Oh, there it is. He traveled to North Korea in 2007 to recover remains of American servicemen killed in the Korean War. Nice cover. Again, beautiful. Make it about that. In 2006, he persuaded Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir to freeze Pulitzer Prize-winning American journalist, free Paul Salopek. Okay, political landscape, Washington-style politics, easygoing Western states. He raised and spent records amount for his campaigns. There you go, greasing the wheels, just like Hillary Clinton. They pay you, I do this, Here you go, Epstein. Thank you. You got lawmakers, both Republicans and Democrats, because they're all corrupted. They're all blackmailed, most of them. Complained Richardson threatened retribution against those who opposed him. There's how you become into power. Democratic State Senator Tim Jennings of Roswell once said Richardson was, quote, beating people over the head in his dealings with lobbyists on a healthcare issue. So this is how power works, guys, too. And especially if he's in Epstein's back pocket, his right-hand man, giving him, then you have blackmail and all these other people. So that's how that's blackmail runs Washington, D.C. So, yeah, see, I'm going to scroll past. Admittedly, I'm aggressive. I use the bully pulpit of the governorship, but I don't threaten retribution. Anyways, Bob Gallagher, something done expecting him shot. Here we go.
This is good.
After dropping out of the 2008 presidential race, Richardson endorsed Barack Obama over Hillary Clinton. I guess he hadn't won yet. So that's interesting. That happened despite a long-standing friendship with the Clintons.
Oh,
there it is, too.
Wow.
There's a major tie. Obama, a long-standing, of course, because Bill Clinton, he was the undersecretary for Bill Clinton. So Hillary's
don't forget, he was part of the 16-year plan, right? Obama the first 8, and Hillary was supposed to have the final 8, and he was all entrenched in that. He had to step in.
Obama, Richardson as Secretary of Commerce. So he back in the White House from both of them, but Richardson withdrew in early 2000 because of federal investigation into alleged pay-to-play scheme involving his administration in New Mexico. Uh-oh, is that why he raised and spent the most? He raised and spent records amount in his campaigns. There you go. Because
okay, so at the same time, Epstein, like now, is in 2008, is doing his first sentence. Okay,
Yeah.
and think about the money he got because of the Zorro Ranch, because the state got 38 million in taxes.
oh,
Yes.
the tax man, interesting.
And so, you know, and then they have, oh, this sweet deal. You get pennies on the thing. We have, you know, pennies on the land. Epstein became the largest landowner in New Mexico, more than Ted Turner.
Whoa.
So we have how many you know, I don't know that, you know, Ted Turner, I've heard some not good things about him, right? Like maybe involvement with, the Georgia Guidestones and having built them. And
Ted Turner.
yes. And so, and then you have Richard Branson, who had Virgin Island, or the Virgin
all about here
Airlines, and he had spaceport right next to Ted Turner's place, which was a 700,000 acre ranch.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
So anyways, I have another thing. As soon as you're done.
Okay,
here.
I think this is almost done here. Months. So listen, this is just the last few months. Months later, the federal investigation ended with no charges. Like we haven't been seeing that for decades of our lives. Those have been awake because they all protected each other.
Yeah.
Okay, the federal investigation with no charge against Richardson and his former top aides. That's your shadow government, probably his puppet masters. Okay, Richardson had a troubled tenure as energy secretary because of a scandal over missing computer equipment and nuclear weapons.
Think North Korea.
Think North
Korea.
He's meeting with North Korea.
Oh, damn.
Oh my gosh.
This is uranium one stuff. Did you show that today's Delta with
I didn't yet. I didn't
Wow.
yet. I didn't know which one you're talking about either. So I'm curious. This is gonna be perfect when I go back to that. Yeah, right here. Los Alamos Laboratory and the government's investigation and prosecution of former nuclear weapons scientist Win Ho Lee. So Richardson approved Lee's firing. I'll scroll up for a second like this. So Richardson, we're right here. Firing at Los Alamos, 1999. I was just talking about one of those that what's the guy that first came out of Area 51? S4. Anyways,
Phil Schneider.
Not that one. Okay. Los Alamos is one of these great examples. He spent 9 months in solitary confinement, charged with 59 counts of mishandling sensitive information. Lee later pleaded guilty to handling computer files and was released with the apology of a federal judge.
What?
Yeah, right. And that's the fall guy for this governor instead, right? No one's even charging the governor when he's involved. William Bladen Richardson, I guess that's his full name, right? This is his little history. Born in California, grew up in Mexico City. All right, so his background. That's pretty good there. But here's the last part. In 82, let's see, here's his whole career. He moved to New Mexico in 78 after working as a Capitol Hill staffer. So this sounds like a grooming. I've been noticing that because I travel a lot. I've been in isolated places. Alaska, Hawaii is also where these deep state do their test runs in isolated regions, small towns. They'll take over the whole government and test their schemes. Okay, so Richardson moving to New Mexico makes sense. It's near the border. Nobody lives in New Mexico, so I just saw a weird video about that. It's just like it's the least even. Anyways, so
I got to read the next thing too.
Right. Okay. Richardson moved to New Mexico 78 after working as a Capitol Hill staffer. He wanted to run for political office and said New Mexico, with his Hispanic roots, seemed like a good place. Again, mentioned less people here, but also on the border. I missed that key part. He campaigned for Congress just 2 years later, his only losing race. In 82, he won a new congressional seat from northern New Mexico and picked up the reapportionment. He resigned from Congress in 97 to join the Clinton administration as UN ambassador and became Secretary of Energy in 98, holding the post until the end of the Clinton presidency.
All tied together. One leads to another, to another, to another, too many. Right there. The Clinton administration, including Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. That makes me...
Okay, so then can I pull this up and then I have another thing?
Yeah, let's get to
Can we go to Diggers?
This one is real. Post 48. What is Q clearance? What hit does it explicitly refer to? DOE? Who would have the goods on uranium 1? Does stating Q refer to that person works in DOE? No. Does it refer that someone dropping such information has the highest levels of security within all departments? Why is this relevant? And then here's Barack Obama. Who's the enemy? It's all connected here. Canada Prime Minister brokered those deals too. The calm before the storm.
And then go to today's Delta 2 before bringing up Melzie stuff and show that that one Delta today with Hillary Clinton in regards to Uranium 1.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. Test 7, Test 8. Anons have the originals. Test 5, the Armor of God. It's going to be historic. Here we go. I don't remember this one so well.
This is a big one.
Here's a nice image. So here's some background on Hillary. You want to read some of these, Tim?
Yeah, bring it up large on the screen if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm not on the right tab.
Oh, there we go. 6 explosive Uranium 1 facts. Secretary Clinton betrayed America. Number 1, the former head of Russia's uranium company made 4 hidden donations to the Clinton Foundation totaling $2.35 million. Number 2, Bill Clinton bagged a $500,000 speech in Moscow paid for by a Kremlin-backed bank. Number 3, the FBI has uncovered evidence that Russian nuclear industry officials engaged in bribery, kickbacks, extortion, and money laundering. Number 4, the Clinton Foundation received $145 million from foreign investors involved in the uranium deal. Number 5, FBI agents have an eyewitness and documents to support the most explosive parts of the Uranium 1 story. And number 6, Clinton mega donor Frank Holmes lied about selling Uranium 1 before Clinton approved the Russian transfer.
Wow. Okay. So and even myself, I've always tried to kind of catch up with all the details on this. I also know another thing they did was around after this deal, Bill Clinton, after being president, gave a 15-minute speech in Russia and got paid $500,000 for it.
Yeah.
So
what did it say at the bottom of the Q drop?
Yeah. So now we're on, and by the way, it's Qschqql 2902. Today's Delta from 2019. So prior to Epstein being arrested, for context and timeline. Q shares this image, not an Anon. Q shares this, but obviously Anon put it together somewhere. And Q says, when the real truth regarding Russian collusion is right in front of you, but the fake news media prevents public awareness. This is weird with the dot, because especially because Q Alerts has this weird thing. Dot and then dash conformity and behavior. Q. That's kind of odd to me. Let me look at the Q drop on QAG too, just to double check here. Oh, by the way, Q drop 48, I just mentioned, and remember what it said here. Russia should be viewed as a friendly partner. Okay, and Q makes us ask that question right here. What is being continually stated by all Ds? Russia is what? The enemy, right? The enemy. So always think mirror on that. And then now I wanted to show that Q drop 2902 just to see what it looks like on the bottom properly. Because there's something with the formatting. Yeah, see, there's a formatting error with Q Alerts. If somebody can message Q Alerts, they are on X about this situation. They haven't seemed to fix it. I'll just show you guys. This is QAG. This is what the Q drop is supposed to look like. Public awareness, new line, conformity and behavior. But Q Alerts is having some glitch. There's this extra dash in there, and that's not correct. I also need to talk about them putting that Rumble link in there because that changes things. And then conformity and behavior. So I guess this one just has an extra dash, but it's odd. So anyways, the post is like that. Russian collusion right in front of you. Okay, nice connection there, Tim. All right, so that's the rest of that. Okay. Anything else on that one, Tim?
What's Melzie got? Let's see what Melzie got up her sleeve.
Okay, so let's go back to, if you can pull up go to Diggers again. And I have, let's just look at the bottom thing that I just dropped in there, so we can just get a timeline. So the last one.
Okay. Timeline of what here?
Okay. No, there's 4. There should be 4 of them that
Oh,
I
you want to go
dropped.
the first one? Okay.
The very bottom one, actually, right now.
That's the one I was on. So.
Are you
Good digging, sister. Good digging.
This is too soon, and I'm like, I see something else. So, anyways, Richardson was.
This one. Here you go. This one.
And not the. Oh, that one.
This one.
Well, you had Richardson circled in that one.
Yep.
Which one?
The last one that's on the very bottom. Epstein went to jail. Let's look at this. Epstein went to jail twice. First in 2008 for a 13-month sentence on solicitation charges, and again on July 6, 2019, following his arrest for federal sex trafficking charges. He died by suicide in custody, blah, blah, blah. So let's look at the first one and that timeline, which he went in, I think in July, I can't remember. But
it's right below here. He first arrested in 2006, served 13 months starting in 2008 with work release.
Yes. And so I'm just looking for the date of that. But Richardson then was the governor during the time that Epstein went to jail for the first time. I just wanted to, put that in there, because then in the deal of here, he won somehow. The win occurred just 2 days after Epstein entered a Florida
jail. This is
jail.
the win of the lottery?
Powerball.
Okay.
Of like $90 million.
Okay.
And in a 13-month sentence for sex-related charges in 2008.
So the sweetheart deals, we were getting arrested in 2006. The sentencing didn't begin until 2008 there. Investigation, while the Zorro Trust officially claimed the prize, has not been officially confirmed if Epstein personally purchased the ticket. No, the lottery officials stated they followed standard procedure, did not find wrongdoing. Of course it didn't.
Sure they did.
Then they didn't see election rigging either. Similar claims, although there were online rumors about the lottery being rigged or Epstein winning multiple times, no evidence suggests he won more than one lottery. Yeah, shell companies or having somebody else do it for him. Why would you put your name out there so many times? Okay, there's that one. And then
what's that part with Richardson circled with Guthrie?
Yeah, that's that next one up here. That's one I thought that she was wanting here. So
yeah. So then I knew that I was like, well, what is the relationship? I knew I'd done a dig on this, but I couldn't remember about it. So Virginia Girufi, how do you say your name?
Guthrie.
She's in the Q post. Do you mind reading that? It's kind of small.
Yeah. So, okay. Virginia's Guthrie's testimony is unsealed deposition. Accuser Virginia Guthrie. She was Jane Doe number one. Alleged that she was directed to provide massages, which she defined as sexual encounters, because it's quote unquote massages, to Richardson. This is the governor at Zorro Ranch in New Mexico, and he's concurrently an ambassador somewhere while he's the governor, so that still gives him the immunity. Richardson's representatives consistently denied these claims, calling them completely false. Imagine that. The lawyers for the criminals said that, saying he never met Guthrie, but she hasn't lied about anything else so far. Campaign contributions: Epstein donated $50,000 to Richardson's 2006 governor race re-election campaign. Richardson's team later stated he donated this amount to charity after Epstein's initial legal troubles in Florida became public.
And what's the probe? What was the probe?
Okay, New Mexico probe. As of February 2026, New Mexico Attorney General, the AG, has reopened a criminal investigation into Zorro Ranch based on newly unsealed federal files. Shit, maybe that thing is real.
That's this month. That's February of 2026, brother.
Dude, I actually saw an article and I thought maybe it was I thought it was AI. It was so like put together well that I was like, is this one of those AI things? And so this is might be real here. So let's see. New Mexico AG has reopened a criminal investigation in the Zorro Ranch based on newly unsealed federal files. A bipartisan truth commission has also been formed by state lawmakers to investigate potential corruption and why Epstein was never registered as a sex offender in the states. Again, state secrets, guys.
Circle.
State secrets. We're gonna Epstein's gonna get prosecuted in Florida also, but no one saw New Mexico's coming. That's really interesting. Recent local developments. In early 2026, Richardson's name was removed from a building at the University of New Mexico Hospital. While officials cited navigation simplification as the reason, the move occurred shortly after his name surfaced prominently in the latest Epstein document releases. Ranch status: the Zorro Ranch was sold in 2023 to a Texas-based family and has since been renamed the San Rafael Ranch. That's kind of crazy. There's a San Rafael in Reno. I used to live right on the back of it too. That's kind of strange.
Okay, then I'd like to go to if we can just go to Brittany's comments and digs, because they're like amazing.
And Brittany's on fire.
all kind of pinned up here. So I'm going to pull them up, and then you want to read them?
Yeah. Tim, you digging, or you want to read for a second?
Yeah,
Choppers.
sure. Yeah, choppers. Let's go. Yeah, Zorro Ranch equals Epstein's New Mexico hub run through Zorro Trust. Same Zorro Trust shows up in the files as winning an $80 million Powerball jackpot in 2008, signed by his ranch manager 2 days after. He walks into his sweetheart jail deal. New Mexico kept him off the sex offender registry, leased him state school trust land for pennies, and now says they're shocked. Ranch Trust Lottery.
I'll go after these ones now, Tim, too. That energy grid decode I'm working on. Okay, this is different. I read those ones earlier, so Tim recapped it. Thank you, Brittany, there. I think this one's new. I haven't seen this one. That energy grid decode I'm working on ties into this, too, and this is very important. It connects to the ley lines, the energy grid, guys. If you're all paying attention to us, you're connected with this. You probably may be living near some yourselves. I know Melzie, I'm sure Tim is also, so that's interesting. Okay, so that energy grid decode I'm working on ties into this, too. State, school, land, utility control, Zorro Ranch leases, and that Zorro Trust lottery win. Same land and energy control system. Okay, and perfect cover story, as I was saying, the cover story for him to go be the ambassador somewhere too. Teacher pay, kids programs, green utility rules, spaceport, rail, plus private hostage deals with Saddam Hussein in North Korea. Same governor whose state let Epstein's Zorro Ranch go like undetected, right? On school trust land, and whose name now shows up in the Epstein files, land plus energy plus bodies. Who knows where the bodies are buried? Wow. That's a big one.
That's a big one, you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Brittany. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks for letting me share that.
That's interesting. And you guys said he's dead, he's deceased, right?
Yeah, September 2nd, 2023. It said.
What kind of death was it? Like, how did he die?
Died in his sleep, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
Heard you have trouble sleeping at night.
Yeah, sleeping.
Heart attacks can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so we got the Great Awakening clip for Jacqueline, if she's still with us. I haven't seen her in the chatting, but she did bring it up earlier that she's attending on May 17th in Washington, D.C., which will be a big part of the Great Awakening, which is the spiritual part of it. And of course, I've always alluded to the Q drops as something that has not only changed my life, but changed me spiritually. Because of all the, of course, today you see one of the deltas is the armor of God. There's many biblical references in the Q drops. God wins 11 times in the Q drops. A lot of connections to the spiritual part of this.
Biblical is 11 too. We did a really interesting show with biblical and God wins on that one.
That's true. Yeah. So that's a big part of this. And last night when I was watching Steve Bannon, he's on live right now, and it's actually almost 24 hours to the actual minute. It's 17 minutes to 6 o'clock. And this is right around the time when he had a guest on last night talking about the Great Awakening and the spiritual movement and how they're going to step up to the plate. So if you want to play that section there.
Is this the Rumble Bannon we had earlier?
Yes.
Okay. I closed the tab.
It's the new one I dropped. I gave it to you just before we came on live, remember?
Right, the one where it's 30, the guy comes on, or is this a different one?
That's the one that you had queued up.
Yeah, and he's gonna cover what, and then we'll skip.
You'll have to see. You'll find out.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
And if there's a commercial that pops up, scan through that and then bring them back on. Yeah.
Okay.
Check this out, guys. You'll love it. A lot of Q-isms in this.
Candace Taylor, that is a fighter right there. Lance Walnut, just a question. We're going to have you back on, but just so people can understand as this takeaway. You talked about the Black Robe Regiment. You talked about the Great Awakening, and then you have a providential figure, Washington. You then have a Great Awakening in the years before the Civil War, and you have Lincoln arrives, the fourth turning. These figures are not terribly well known before these movements start. I know Glenn Beck, yourself, so many others have been working on this concept of the Great Awakening here to wake people up, particularly Christians, awaken up to where we are as a country. Because if we mobilize the Christian base in this country, it wouldn't be any doubt the direction of this nation. Do you believe now that we're in this fight, and it's a fight against, and I see it here in Texas, In Texas, you got to fight against neo-Marxist jihadists in this state that's been targeted by these people. Can we simultaneously have a great awakening at the same time you have the providential figure in the fourth turning fight itself, sir?
But you put your finger on the point, really, Steve, intuitively. And that is that the difference between America in the pulpit during the Revolutionary era or in the North during the ramping up to the Civil War was the fact that they engaged in the public place. They actually had opinions, and their sermons talked about those subjects. I read an interesting thesis by a guy who said he studied what was preached during the Civil War because he wanted to know how pulpits actually framed that existential crisis. In the South, the preachers preached about, curiously enough, states' rights and the sovereignty of them and the offense of the North in overreaching. In the North, they preached about the evil of slavery and the righteousness of the cause. The border states, curiously enough, preached stay out of politics, just focus on the kingdom of God and non-offensive advancing of Christian ideas. And what happened in America during the ramping up to Donald Trump was that almost all pulpits became border states. They all wanted to go to something other than current events. And the moment that guys like me stepped out of that box, well, we get labeled as Christian nationalists or dangerous Christian nationalists, which shows that we did not have an awakening. We had a disengagement of the clergy from culture. And as a result, we are now awakening, and we must awaken the church, which is why what I was saying is if the president does not do as good a job of characterizing that we are in a moment of ultimate decision as to what kind of nation we're going to be, a nation of laws or a nation of lawlessness, a nation where individuals will define whether their gender is male or female, or is there a transcendent order that has overseen our prosperity as a nation that we must come back to and align with? Because if we can't capture the idea that we're dealing with evil versus good, the Christian community doesn't know exactly. They have issues, life or marriage, but we need a much bigger statement.
So how do we do that?
We've never had an awakening. We've never had an awakening that happened during a political crisis.
We have a warrior that's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. You saw that last night, and nobody's doing the master class of bringing all those symbols together, being like an orchestra leader, plus being the guy that calls them out and sits there and says, calls them out right there for the world to see and the nation to see. You've got Glenn Beck, yourself, so many others. There's so much talent that's been trying to do this. That has to be somebody else, I think, that sets the overall architecture of what the moral fight is. Trump is he's a leader in a fight that's a fight to the death, because as you saw last night, and I say, this gap is not bridgeable. The two sides believe things that are fundamentally different, and it's not going to be debated out. And you see this in Texas. And this is why the Democrats are down here. This is why the jihadists are down here. This is why the neo-Marxists are down here. They understand it. They're not out here making a case about it. They're here for political muscle. One side's going to win and one side's going to lose. So how do we simultaneously, what's your recommendation now? We'll have you back on.
All right,
because you're considered one of the leaders. Christian, what's the thing that we can do to get the awakening of just the Christian element in this and understand you have to go to the ramparts or it's over?
I think the president has an opportunity. Steve, he shocked everybody, as he always does, with an impromptu idea at the National Prayer Breakfast. He said, we need a national gathering to really get back in alignment with God. We need, on May 17th, we're going to have a big national gathering, and we're going to rededicate the United States to God.
Wow.
And he's a great, smart man, and he's a salesman, too. Here is the task to fully catalyze and energize the pent-up potential of a Christian population in America. Do what Lincoln did. He didn't frame the Civil War as a political contest. He framed it as a theological reckoning with history. Either we are going to be a nation under God or we're going to be a nation of anarchists without God. We have a choice to make. And the language that Lincoln used, I think, could be still used by the president. And basically said, we cannot become a country that forgets the gracious hand that preserved us in peace, multiplied and enriched and strengthened us. Somehow we've imagined in the deceitfulness of our hearts that all these blessings were because of our superior wisdom. We could be in danger of intoxication with broken success. We need to feel the necessity of God in our life. That kind of message can be said. They tried to kill him twice. 3 times recently. He could weave that in and say, I know what I'm talking about. There is an evil that wants to destroy voices that want to save America. I've had my life almost taken from me on 3 occasions, or 2 occasions for sure. And I'm telling you, America needs to turn in unity to God and not divide itself in self-destruction. That moves the moral pendulum towards grounds that Christians suddenly say, my God, this is a call to save America. And that if we do it without a corresponding theme coming out of the president, we don't have the power of a 1-2 punch. I think he's willing to do it. He just needs to be coached on what that speech looks like.
I want to make sure we get this. So at the prayer breakfast, I remember saying it's 17 May. He's saying that's going to be a day, I guess, from Washington, D.C. We'll get some dates. He's going to call for a rededication of the nation to our great cause, just like Lincoln did.
Exactly. And what a perfect opportunity, if done right, to be able to recast for the midterms between the battle of good and evil and a return to God. Bam.
Lance,
Bam, as we'd say, huh, Tim? Boom. Boom it was.
Yeah. How many QSMs did you hear in that one, you guys? I mean,
Great Awakening.
Good versus Evil.
Good versus Evil. And I showed you that patch. You wrote that too, Good versus Evil.
One Nation Under God.
Lincoln.
I mean, all in the Q drops, guys. And this is happening. And this is where Jacqueline, who was with us in part 1 today, before we got booted off of here, said she's attending that. So excited for Jacqueline. That's really cool. And if anybody else is in that area on May 17th, the 17th day, that'd be a Q day, by the way, just saying.
I heard that Man of Truth is planning on going.
Oh, good.
Yes. Good. And Tim, did you catch it? It's actually 1 year to the day we started the Qschqql 5.0 or 4.0 because we're doing the Saturday nights. So it's the Mr. Saturday Night, and that's what I do with the Q Plus. It's probably 4 or 5 hours. I might want to watch it. We're figuring out some of the lighting.
That's right. Yeah. Another anniversary. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, because I do watch Steve Bannon all the time. I watch Real America's Voice. I catch a lot of things that a lot of people hear when they, obviously a lot of people still don't watch Real America's Voice for some reason, but I catch all these Q-isms throughout these different podcasts, and more so like at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock can be dangerous. John Sullivan's show comes on, and of course he drops all these freaking bombshells. I mean, yesterday was the big Fannie Willis, the new stuff that's coming out about her coordinating with the Biden White House. I mean, that's all coming out now. I mean, this is crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's wild for sure. So, man, what a day. So we went on a little second spiel there. Y'all can find us on the different links and stuff. Thanks for hanging with us, guys. Mil's showing some of the swag if you want to, different places you can donate to the channel, all that good stuff. Thank you for all your time and service, all you beautiful people, especially you, Timbo, MelzieKaye, graphics, putting all the stuff together, Timbo Slice, all you guys, all of your beautiful announce too with us, Jay Rosemary, all the amazing diggers in here too. You always were on fire. Brittany Stover, Cindy, Susan. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Brittany.
Jedi, Scott, Brittany. Yeah, I mean, plus, all of our other friends. So great job, guys. Thank you so much. Love. So I think that's good for us. And we got a 10-minute really cool video from Abby. If you guys got to go somewhere, whatever, but y'all can watch it. 10-minute Abby Blue Eyes. I think it's about Epstein. It'll be a good one to end on.
Yeah, and guess what? We get to do it all again tomorrow, but it's Bill Clinton this time. We did Hillary. We covered Hillary. Tomorrow's Bill Clinton, Slick Willie tomorrow. So, oh boy, this is fun.
Yeah, let's be wild. All right, brother. Well, I guess we'll go to this video and close it out, unless y'all have anything for us.
No, not just that. I love everybody. I love your energy and your fight. Keep fighting, you guys. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to the end. The end for them.
We're getting so close, guys. You can feel it, man. You can. The proofs are getting there. We got the Clintons. We got Epstein's on the collective consciousness. All these things, and
it's still water cooler talk. Still water cooler talk.
Yeah, still just like, and that's how we've had to do this. It should make sense to you all. And actually, the way Tim was explaining it was that the May 15 first time catch this live. Thank you, Christy. Appreciate it. Helps the Facebook algorithms. Please hit like, send the live out to other people on Facebook. I was trying to add people and they give me some weird blocks and stuff. Sometimes they throttle and do different things. We'll keep growing though. Thank you guys for all the comments and watching from all the different platforms. We got booted off, having some stuff. Instagram still isn't even streaming live, so maybe we'll go back onto Telegram, Tim, until Instagram comes back or whatever.
Yeah,
but anyway, we're on all the different platforms. So thank you guys for being with us.
Well, where we go one.
We go
We
all.
all. Oh, we nailed that one. Look at that, brothers. We've done that one a long time. All right, love you guys. We'll see you out here. We're gonna close out a little Epstein video for y'all. Love, 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 guys. And this is Abby Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes. Actually, I'm gonna change my name first so the screen doesn't get all glitchy on me. Just right now, she's at Blue Eyes at Blue_eyes on X. Okay, but we'll make that my name. I'm gonna share the screen. Okay, good to go, MelzieKaye.
Yep.
All right, love you guys. Have a good night.
Look around and pay attention. For many years, the secret government has been importing drugs and selling them to the people, mainly the poor and minority. Social welfare programs were put into place to create a dependent, non-working element in our society. The government then began to remove these programs to force people into a criminal class that did not exist in the 50s and 60s. The government encouraged the manufacture and importation of military firearms for the criminals to use. This is intended to foster a feeling of insecurity, which would lead the American people to voluntarily disarm themselves by passing laws against firearms. Using drugs and hypnosis on mental patients in a process called Orion, the CIA inculcated the desire in these people to open fire on schoolyards and thus inflame the anti-gun lobby. This plan is well underway and so far is working perfectly. The middle class is begging the government to do away with the Second Amendment. The media will convince the American people that a state of anarchy exists within the major cities. The government will then suspend the Constitution and declare martial law. The media, radio, TV, newspapers, and computer networks will be nationalized and seized. Your freedom will never be returned, and you will live in slavery for the remainder of your life. You had better wake up, and you had better do it now. The secret power structure may believe that by our own ignorance or by divine decree, planet Earth will self-destruct sometime in the near future. These men sincerely believe that they are doing the right thing in their attempt to save the human race. Throughout history, small but powerful groups of men have consistently felt that they alone were capable of deciding the fates of millions. Throughout history, they have been wrong. Have our leaders decided to lock us in the playpen? The only way to prevent this scenario from taking place is to cause an evolutionary leap in consciousness, a paradigm shift for the entire human race. I have no idea how it can be done, but I know that it desperately needs to be done. It needs to be done very quickly and very quietly. We must force disclosure of all of the facts, discover the truth, and act upon it. The situation in which we find ourselves is due to our own actions or inactions over the last 44 years. Because it is our own fault, we are the only ones who can change future events. Education seems to me to be a major part of the solution. The remaining part is the abolition of secrecy. Through ignorance or misplaced trust, we as a people have abdicated our role as the watchdog of our government. Our government was founded of the people, for the people, by the people. There was no mention or intent ever to abdicate our role and place our total trust in a handful of men who meet secretly to decide our fate. In fact, the structure of our government was designed to prevent that from ever happening. If we had done our jobs as citizens, we would never have reached this point. Most of us are completely ignorant as to even the most basic functions of our government. We have truly become a nation of sheep. And sheep are always eventually led to slaughter. It is time to stand up in the manner of our forefathers and walk like men. The most important information that you need to determine your future actions is that this new world order calls for the destruction of the sovereignty of nations, including the United States. The new world order cannot and will not allow our Constitution to continue to exist. The new world order will be a totalitarian socialist system. We will be slaves shackled to a cashless system of economic control.
I think there are a number of people that agree with what you say, who are aware of some of these facts. Again, the question to ask is, given that there may be ills and abuses on the part of the government today, what would be something that a person interested in seeing change could do? What sort of advice would you give somebody who wanted to have an effect for the better, who would want to influence events so that we would begin moving towards a change?
Somehow, really educate the vast majority of what I call the American sheeple. These are people who are ignorant. Ignorant is not a bad word. It just means that they're without knowledge. If we could educate them and get them to understand that it is more important to stand up now and take a personal risk and educate other people and say that this has all got to stop, and be able to select our own candidates and make sure they get elected no matter what the press or the television or anybody else tells us about them. Put them in office, people who will support, protect, and defend the Constitution, like the liars and the charlatans who are in office now swear to do when they take their oath of office, but don't at all. Don't even attempt it. In fact, if you could get the people to do that, then there might be a possibility of a political, peaceful solution. In the history of the whole human race, the only people that have ever lived on this planet who have ever truly been free, the ultimate achievement of all humankind was to accept the individual as a king or queen in his or her own right, being responsible and having all of the freedom and liberties that they could possibly imagine right here in this country. And we created a government that was supposed to have a balance of power and was limited, strictly limited by the Constitution, and only given a very few powers. That's all gone now. I mean, that's like a big, you hear these politicians in Washington today talking about how the Constitution is an outdated document penned over 200 years ago by a bunch of doddering old men who did not understand the complexities of the modern age. They won't tell you what you should already know, is that the document is not an outdated old document. It is a living Constitution. It has within it the means for change should the people desire that it be changed. If you want to find out how quickly society can turn against one, and I'm talking seriously here, stand up and tell the truth about just anything that you want to stand up and tell the truth about. It scares the living daylights out of everyone. And so the first thing that happens is you find out who your friends are and who your friends are not, because there's a great weeding out there. And it's not anything that you do on your part or that I've done on my part. They just disappear. it's you can't go to church, you can't go to cocktail parties because everybody else is sitting around talking about the weather or, oh, what school did you go to? And when you have done the research and arrived at some of the answers that I know to be true now, those people become like kindergarten children. They're not in the real world, and I can't engage in that kind of a conversation. So you really find yourself in another world. They've lost the reality of what really is important, and they're about to lose their freedom to even discover those things at this point.
I ask you a last question, and that is, how would you like to be seen or remembered?
I think I would like to be remembered like Paul Revere was remembered. At a time when it was needed and nobody else would do it, I got on my horse and rode through the night and said, the British are coming. And this time it's not the British. If anybody wants to remember me, I would certainly be pleased if they just remembered I did what was the responsible and the right thing to do at a time when nobody else had the guts to do it.
Oh yeah, thank you everybody. We got kicked out, but we did round 2. Thanks for